Well, sorry about that. I just hung up on everybody who was watching because somebody said that the audio was faint, and I went to look to see if I could find a setting for that, and in the process, apparently, Prism decided I was done and hung up. So anyway, hello again, or hello for the first time. I'm down here in Lakeview, walking south on a gray day. It's supposed to snow, but hasn't started yet. And I come down here. I'll be turning around and heading back north again, but I wanted to get a peek at the big new school they're building over here, which I've walked by a few times. Hopefully some of the people who are with me will find me again here. It's always why I don't like to try to adjust anything on the fly. It's very easy to hang up without knowing you've done it. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So I will stitch these together later, and there will be a single file for the permanent record. This is going on my permanent record. So I had 4 or 5 people potentially watching me there, and I hung up on them all. So I do apologize for that. If you come back, let me know. If you have come back, let me know. I have no idea why the sound would be soft. It's right where it always is. So here's the new school they're building. And quite a large one it is, too. Looks like are they adding on to the old one? So they're keeping the old one, adding on to it, and making something much bigger, it looks like. Sandcastles Childcare. And it's a lot of construction. Maybe they're just building in behind the old one. Maybe that's what's going on, and the old one will get torn down. Maybe. Anyway, it's come a long way since I first started walking along here. If you go back, find another walk that I did along here, it was just frame. It's taking shape now. I'm going to walk down to the end of the park and then start back. Again, this is part 2 because I accidentally hung up on part 1. I'll either stitch them together or I'll just label them part 1 and part 2 like I did yesterday. It's easier to just do that. You can stitch them together in iMovie, but the file that iMovie creates is bigger and takes much longer to upload. I have no idea, Madeline. I'm sorry about the audio. Nothing obviously I can fix here. I'll take a look at things for the next one. I mean, the microphone's right there. It's not like it's not right underneath my mouth. So there may be an input setting somewhere that I haven't found that I need to find. But for now, I'm concentrating on not killing myself on the ice along here. I think we'll step onto the grass, which has also got ice in it, but still. Slightly better footing. Yeah, that's a puzzlement. What if there's a camera setting? I mean, the volume control on the side shouldn't make any difference, I wouldn't think, since that's the speakers, not the input. Anyway, I turned it up. Here's the park, not nearly as green. And there's no water park going down there. Spray park. Sorry, I'm adjusting my glove. Whew. Oh, that looks terrible. So walk down along the storm channel here, and that'll start us on the way back. Overture. Or, if you've joined me after I restarted the feed, this is the walk, because you missed the part where I walked down here, and now I'm walking back. Slightly roundabout. Direct route would be that direction. And I will shift going into that way once I get the appropriate opportunity. Ah. Foot slipped. Even the gravel has ice on it that you can't always see, and the grass has water that's frozen into ice inside it. You can't always see that either, so I will continue to be cautious. And of course, the path itself here is just a little icy. You'd think that being above freezing for several days that the sun would melt this off, but the sun is so low, and there's trees around here too, never really reached, so all it did was the top layer melted and refroze. The freeze-thaw cycle. It's also one reason why we have a problem with potholes. Freeze-thaw cycle this time of year, and especially in the spring. Water gets in, it freezes, it expands, it breaks up the pavement, and you've started a pothole. Or you started breaking apart a wall, or crumbling some concrete, or all that good stuff. On the other hand, if water didn't expand when it freezes, unlike pretty much everything else, there'd be no life on the planet, so, or very little, because the oceans would have ice with a thin layer of meltwater on top of them. So all in all, it's a good thing. It'd be nice if ice wasn't slippery, though. If it froze to a nice, rougher texture that you could walk on safely, that would be grand. Grand! There's where the spray park is in the summertime. We're now heading homeward. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts are escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting. Silently for me? Why would she be silent? Why would she just be lying there waiting? Or is it quietly? Either way. Why isn't she up doing things? Why is she just lying there waiting? I mean, come on. Don't waste your life lying around waiting for some guy to come home. Hey, looks like somebody built some snowmen at one point. Do you want to build a snowman? Also looks like they are now defunct snowmen. They have been decapitated and debodied and everything else, but I'm sure they were snowmen at one time. Looks like a battlefield where the snowman army was horribly slaughtered by something. There's another grand house over there that I quite like the looks of. I've walked by before, but today I'm on this side of the street. And my good footing has vanished. So I'm going to be careful here. Oh, this is as slippery as, doesn't look like ice, but it's ice-covered snow. Yeah, it's really slippery. Hi, Rocky Beach. Well, weather-wise it's okay, but because of the freezing and thawing and then freezing again, and it's starting to get colder again now after being above freezing for a few days, everything, all my walking has been very fraught. Like this is rough ice that's slippery in all directions off of the roughness. So it slows me down. But temperature-wise, it's a pleasant enough day. A bit gray. A lot gray, actually. Another one of the big, more modern houses along here. Well, let's see. I guess I'll cross here because there's no sidewalk on this side. This looks like a safer bet. This will take us down to Hill, and then I'll walk by the Hill shopping area, Hill Avenue shopping area on my way home. This used to be a fire hall, but it seems to be something to do with the health authority now. That's Seventh-day Adventist Church over there, and then a school, Christian school beyond it. Yeah. Whew. See, it's where the alleys meet the road that you have to particularly watch out. Walk out into the street to avoid them, I guess. That would work too. And the other nest thing there is that they slope downwards. Anywho, this here is Hill Avenue, so we will walk down it and go by the shopping center down there. Shopping area, not really a center. Good neology is good theology. Not if you have bad knees. There's a new one going up over there. Nice sidewalk. Like this sidewalk. Good sidewalk. Good boy. Maybe it'll follow me home. It's in better shape than the one on our Crescent. Oh yeah, clear all the way. I like this. So that's the Hill Avenue shopping area up there. Again, I apologize if my sound is very faint. I'm told it is. I'm not sure why. I have changed nothing. It's amazing how things change when you don't change anything on the phone or the microphones or anything else. Like, I do have a thought it might be a bad cord, but I would think if it was a bad cord, it would be cutting in and out, not just being faint. And I've jiggled it. It doesn't seem to make any difference. As far as I know, there is no input adjustment, but maybe there is in the camera settings. Except on previous walks, it has been faint and then suddenly gotten loud again without me changing anything. So I just don't know. I'll look, see what I can do. I'm not buying a new microphone. I've already spent way more money on microphones because I bought 3 to make this work with a wireless microphone. What I could do, of course, is buy a cheap clip-on microphone and just wear a cord, which really wouldn't be that big a deal. It's not very far from the phone to my body, but that's an elegant solution. St. Luke's Anglican Church down there. Oh, just saw snowflakes for the first time. They said it would start snowing about now, or a bit before now. Don't know if it'll become visible or not on camera, but it's definitely starting. There's a gas station here. Skate sharpening and knife sharpening. Eco Nail Lounge, Houston Pizza. Invu, which is also a lounge or makeup place, I'm not sure which. Kitchen gear, we've got a lot of kitchen stuff in there. Brewed Awakening coffee shop. There's another little restaurant there too. Hill Avenue Drugs. Ho ho ho. Another salon of some sort, and then this little grocery store. So I've never really shopped in. We tend to go to the Safeway. All right, so from here, I normally walk on the other side, so I'll walk on this side today. Nice to start with. Maybe you can see a little snow if you look closely. It's starting to fall. What I could, of course, do, if I wanted to, for the permanent one, it's entirely possible to detach the audio, boost it, and then reattach it in iMovie. But I'm not sure I want to put that much work into one of these that I do every day. Anyway, so if this one's not great, there'll be another one tomorrow. But I would like to know what's going on with the was the sidewalk almost got me. I'd like to know what's going on with the sound. The bang bang was not somebody shooting at me. Maybe the other side would have been better. This one doesn't look all that clear. The other one looks better, so I might cross if I get an opportunity to do so safely here. This side looks clearer. Another house for sale. What shall I have for lunch? Do I have leftovers or do I have a sandwich? With which I am concerned after this. Since I got all that work done yesterday and I have, oh, there's a million things I need to do, but I thought I could take a breather before launching into them. So I was clearing my desk, cleaning either, tidying my desk this morning. That always helps when I want to get started on a new project. I want to tidy the whole office though. It's got stacks of books and expired laser toner cartridges. I normally take those to be recycled at Staples, but they've had that closed down and I don't know if it's reopened or not. So, not sure what I'm going to do with those. The books should be sorted and either put in the basement or taken over to our condo where I store a lot of books. Coming up on the 18th, there's a space in the Cornwall Center Mall downtown that it's had several things in it, but they've now made it into kind of an event space. And the local bookstore, our new independent bookstore, Penny University, has organized this. For most people, it means taking, 2 or 3 stacks of books and you're done. For me, it means getting there at 8 o'clock and spending a couple of hours setting up because I have a lot of books. And, is it worth putting them all out? Well, some won't sell, but you never know what will sell. So I will set up my full display. At least I'll have help for this one because my wife can help. I actually need to get a new, I wonder if I could get that by the 18th. I should get a new banner for me. There's one just for me. There's one for Shards of Excalibur series. And there's an E.C. Blake one for the Masks of Agrima trilogy. I should have one. That's just Shadow Paw Press. I guess they put up a little bike track here. That's why I saw them moving dirt around here. It looks like his little BMX track. That'd be fun. Wish we'd had those around when I was a kid. And then there's an outdoor rink on the other side of that. And there's Lakeview United again in the distance. Anyway, if you're in Regina, that's on the 18th, 10 to 5, I think, at the Cornwall Center. I'll be there all day selling my books. First time I've done an in-person sales since, it's been a while. Probably since the last Sask Expo, and that was in 2019, so. I have seen a date for a 2022 Sask Expo in Saskatoon, so I hope that happens. And if it does, I'll definitely be up there because I can do several $100s worth of sales. Now, expenses of going to something like that, if it's out of the city, eats up most of that, and of course there's also the cost of the table. But I always break even at least, usually make some, and that's great exposure. That's what you're also important, that people know that There is a science fiction fantasy writer right here in Saskatchewan with multiple books, many of them award-winning or award-nominated to his name. And maybe they'll think of buying them next time around themselves. Okay, once we get to this light, we turn right. We're about 15 minutes from home from here, maybe 10. Into playground zone. I guess that's literally for that park back there, because there was no school along there. More of the little original houses from this neighborhood. These ones are fairly nice. They are tiny compared to the newer versions. What people build today. Maybe I need to plug in the microphone after I've got Prism going. I wonder if that would make a difference. Because sometimes I'll get a message that says there's an external microphone connected. I don't get that the way I normally do it, where I plug it in before I start. Well, the snow's getting heavier, you might be able to see it now. So it's possible Prism, which is the app that I use here, isn't properly registering it or something. It's just a theory, but I'll try that for tomorrow. Somebody had it coming together there. There's a bit of debris. We'll go down, straight down Regina Avenue, because it's a nice clear sidewalk. You can see the snow starting to intensify a little bit. I took my hat off, of course, just before it started to snow. So I'm going to put it back on. I mean, the other solution is to pull the microphone out and then it picks up off of the phone itself. But that sound's never all that great either, and you get a lot more wind noise. And on occasion, if I pull it out while I'm walking, it has killed the sound entirely, so I don't want to do that. So I will experiment and see if I can figure out what's going on. It's always frustrating because I don't change anything. It works perfectly for walk after walk, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, there's no sound, or oh, I can't hear you well. And I didn't change anything, so it makes it hard to find a solution. Snow now, drifting by the lens. I don't know if it's going to accumulate enough to turn things whiter again, but Saturday forecast is currently calling for 5 to 10 centimeters. Either of those amounts would turn it white. 10 would put us back pretty much to where we were before the warm weather. Yep, just started. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me, even if it's faint, if you're there. Of course, I can also talk much more loudly, but that's a little weird when you talk at, stage projection levels when you're walking down the street. People really look at you funny. The whole point of this is that I can speak very softly and still be heard. Yeah, it's snowing heavier and heavier as I continue to walk here. So if you can hear me and you're watching, leave a note. Let me know if the sound is really faint or if it's there at all. Anyone? Anyone at all? I'm not getting a response. It's possible this is silent. Here we are again, looking west and east. I'm faint, huh? Yeah, okay. Well, at least it hasn't quit completely. What if I talk louder? Does that help? All right, well, I have an idea, something to try, and maybe with that, when I plug the mic in, and see if that has some effect on how well it works. I won't plug it in next time until I've already got Prism up and running. And I should get a message that says, an external mic has been connected, and maybe it'll make a better choice of volume at that point. Okay, well, that's it. It is what it is today. I'll try tomorrow to see if I can make it louder. And in the meantime, I will try to avoid mumbling as long as there's nobody around to look at me. This house has been being built all along these walks. It now looks pretty much complete. This will have been an hour walk, even though this one is only 32 minutes. The first one was about 28, so I did turn this into an hour walk. With a split in the middle, because when I first started fiddling with the volume, I managed to hang up on the live stream. Oh, right over there is where I fell on November 11th. Right at that alley. A dog started barking at me, and I turned to look, and down I went. That's when you take your eyes off the road in front of you that tends to happen. And I'm wearing my winter boots that are supposed to have really good traction, but they don't help on ice very much. You need broom ball shoes. They're designed to give you traction on ice. Or cleats. I do see people walking with cleats, but that doesn't seem like it makes sense when you've got a big long bear stretch. That would seem to be less secure. I guess I should try them before I entirely reject the idea. I figured they were turning, those cars. Glad I could arrange a little snow to make the last part of the walk more interesting. Because otherwise, it's a rather gray day, and I didn't walk anywhere too exciting. Tomorrow will be around the lake, first thing, so that'll be before sunup, I would imagine. I'll be heading around the lake. Sun should come up when I'm about halfway around, if it's out tomorrow. Well, if it does this all day like it's supposed to, we will turn things wider again. again, choosing my sidewalks. See, this is what happens a lot. The snow melts, it flows over and freezes. Now that's actually a patch of dirt, so it has a different, I guess it stayed on it more because it has gravel in it or something. But still, that's often where you'll get a patch of ice. Happens on our sidewalk, since everything slopes a little bit toward the creek. This looks like a good time to start walking down the middle of the street until a car shows up. If one does, hopefully it doesn't. Leopold Crescent. Looks clear in both directions. Somebody just started up, but I beat them. Up there at the sidewalk is where I will stop this. See, I figured that car would turn this way. That's why I decided not to keep walking down the middle of the road. And now I will return to it to avoid this. The alleys still have lots of ice and snow in them. They're pretty shaded by the fences and houses, so don't get a lot of sunlight. And here's the corner of Retallick and Angus, where I often stop and will again today. So again, I apologize for killing the feed halfway through, if you were there. And I'll see what I can do about making the sound work better tomorrow. So on a bit of a snowy day, we'll call it quits at the stop sign. Bye for now.